Welcome to our very first episode of the Finish Line podcast. I'm your host, Veena. I'm your underwriter, mortgage agent, and as someone that believes that every deal has a story. To kick off our first episode, we have the man behind Fin Mortgage himself, Kajan Kunabalasingam. Today we'll be talking about his path, what inspired Fin, and why our culture is as strong as it is. And let's jump right in. Kajan, give me your elevator pitch.
Thank you, Veena, for having me on the show, on my own show. My name is Kajan Kunabalasingam. I'm the founder and principal broker here at Fin Mortgage. I've been doing this for, 15 years. Prior to that, I worked at various banks, so I've been in the game for a long time. My elevator pitch, I don't work against the agents. I work alongside with them. I'm a working mortgage broker as well with them. I like to elevate them, and at the same time, I want to be very... I want to set the bar really high in our industry, and I'm really looking forward for 2026. It's going to be an amazing year.
That's amazing to hear, Kajan. I've been with you for just a year, and I can definitely say that you are definitely raising the bar in the industry, not only for agents, but also for other principal brokers and other broker owners on how to really work alongside their agents and their staff. So I'm truly honored to be along your side here. Kajan, like most immigrants, we all come from humble beginnings. Tell us a little bit about yours.
Yes, definitely, Veena. I was born in Sri Lanka. I migrated to Switzerland when I was at a younger age. Lived there for quite a bit of year, and then my whole family, my mom wanted us to learn English, so we moved to Canada, where we had a lot of families, and that's where my whole life really started. I was 12 years old and went to high school here. No, actually, I started off in junior high. And man, I've seen a lot. Moved around quite a bit, and I still remember my first job. I got my first job at Tim Hortons, and you know what? Crazy enough, I was picking up cigarette butts outside and washing the pavement. That was my first job, and I was like, "This is what I'm really gonna be doing." I still remember the Tim Hortons. It's at Victoria Park and Shepherd. Sometimes I drive by it, and I'm just like, "Yo, this is where I started." And then, I also, during the high school time, I landed a job at, I don't know if you guys know Radio Shack. It used to be the...
If you know Radio Shack.
That's how old you are. No, they're no longer in business. They got bought up by Circus City. I've learned a lot. I've learned my sales experience. I was one of the top guys in doing sales associate job, selling phones. I was selling Rogers phones. And I still remember it was like, it was a huge journey for me at that time. I landed an interview and at TD, and that's where my career really took off. I was out of high school, was working as a teller. While I was at a teller, I always had the sales experience, and at that time, I was so hungry, and I was like crushing it in sales. And automatically in 1 year, I moved my way up into becoming an FSR. They call them financial service manager, financial service reps. And I just, doing my courses, I just I elevated myself, and I just moved on to different levels of within the corporate ladder. Just like any banks, they don't appreciate why you're there. So I moved to a different bank. I moved to BMO, did a similar role, got a bigger pay. And then during that period, while I was at TD to BMO, I had always passion for doing mortgages, right? So that's where I kind of started dabbling around with mortgages. And since then, I've been there.
And here you are killing it in the broker space.
Yeah, it was a huge migration for me, actually. You know what? From the time while I was at BMO, I ended up landing a job as a mortgage specialist for CIBC. And again, I'll tell you, the biggest fear I had was like, I'm going from somebody making a paycheck to being on commission. And I think I can relate to that to a lot of the mortgage specialists out there even, right? They always fear like, oh my God, I got this paycheck coming in, or, I got a guaranteed job, and people in the banking space, right? But everyone's always scared to take the leap of faith, to take a jump into the commission world. But I'll tell you, when I took that jump into the commission world, that was one of the biggest things. Once you go commission, you're not going back.
That's very true. And I can attest to that myself because, as you know, I worked for TD as well.
Yeah.
And I also started off as a teller, FSR, FA. And finally, I was understanding and grasping the mortgage world, but I was too scared to jump into the MMS role, what's called the mobile mortgage specialist. This is what we do, but for the banks, right? And the part that scared me was going from salaried to 100% commission. Because by that time, I was at a life stage where I had
Yeah, bills to
payments
pay.
and bills to pay, right? So I needed to know that I was getting an X amount of money in my bank account.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that experience,
No, I think we all
Kajan.
kind of come from the same thing. And I've learned one thing: you should never be fearful. You know,
Absolutely.
if you don't make that jump, then you're just sitting there thinking about it.
If we rewind to your first year, what was one lesson you learned the hard way?
The real lesson.
All of it. I know 2024 kicked your ass, but we'll get to that later. So tell me about your first year 9 years ago when you stepped into the broker world.
I mean, I walked into it. I was in the mortgage space, but I didn't run a brokerage, and I didn't want to just come in as a mortgage agent. We wanted to come here with a big bang. So we're one of the few guys that left at that time and opened up a brokerage, coming in, leaving the bank. And it was amazing at that time. You felt like, you own something, you're doing something. But man, I was lost. Like, to be honest, like, we had a great support system, but I was just like, hey, where am I going to start? I was getting deals, but like, what do I do? But slowly, as things, progressed, we had the infrastructure, we had the office, we had everything. And, it just started transitioning. It takes a little bit of time. People always think like it's going to happen
Are
overnight.
you going to get to the lesson part? What's the lesson that you learned?
Is that what it is? I've learned not never let your guard down. Now I sleep with one eye open just because, you never know who's
Why?
stabbing.
Because I might stab you?
You stabbed me in the chest, but, I don't want to get stabbed in the back again. But
It's okay.
money
I
changes
don't even
people.
hold a knife. I don't even know how to hold a knife. I barely hold a knife to cut vegetables. So don't worry. You don't have to
You
worry
don't
about
even
me.
cook, right?
I don't even cook.
Yeah.
For that reason.
It taught me a lot. Like, money changes people. That's one thing. And never let your guard down. And always fight for what you believe in. And always stand up for what you think, it's yours.
Basically, stay grounded, stay aware, protect what you're building.
100%. You said what I was going to say.
You've been in the industry for a very long time. What keeps you in the industry after all these years? Because let's be honest, not everyone survives the roller coaster that is mortgage life.
Yeah.
It's not built for everybody. How are you still here?
A lot of people might say it's money, but you know what? It's not the money for me. Money is one aspect of it, but for me, it's more of the adrenaline. I wake up every day. I feel like I'm changing people's life. I'm doing the toughest deals and bailing people out in the biggest mess they are. So for me, it's more of an adrenaline that I get from closing one of the toughest deals. And we do this, we do this all the time. We're changing people's lives all the time. We're not doctors, but I feel like I'm the mortgage doctor here. I'm fixing people's life. So that gives me one of the biggest adrenaline. And also, I think being in the industry for so long, I feel like, I'm giving back to the community as well. I'm helping new agents. I'm helping younger generations to get into the space, learn it the right way, and see how they can make money out of it. At the same time, make a difference in people's life.
You've seen this business from every angle. Walk me through your path, like from your first deal to now running your own brokerage. I know this is not your first brokerage, but just walk us through like when you first came in as an individual agent, opening up a franchise to now building one of the most, established brokerages in Toronto.
In 2016 is when we first inked our deal with Dominion Lending Center, and that was as a franchise owners. So we came in with a big bang, and we've been ever since doing business as well. Now, during that transition period, we did transition, and I did open up my own brokerage, which was rebranded to Fin Mortgage. This was in 2025 that we did this. But prior to that, one of the biggest things I've learned is being self-employed opens up the whole world to you. You have control, but also you got to realize that you're your own boss. So you can really get carried away with spending time in the business. At the same time, you can also procrastinate as well. So that's sometimes, I've put in so much work, and I still remember when during 2016 is when me and my wife were expecting. My firstborn was on his way, and that's when we were kind of inking the deal. And I was like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Am I really going to do this right now? I had a cushy job where I was a mortgage specialist at CIBC, making money, and now I'm going into this not even knowing what's going to happen. So I always had the fear on my back, but I also wanted to do something for myself, and it was a great opportunity, and I jumped on it, right? So we did it, and now we're here.
So we've talked about your path and how you started and how you are now running your own brokerage, but it's not always sunshine and roses, right?
100%.
Was there ever a moment where you felt like throwing in the towel?
Oh yeah, many times. Like, at the beginning, you're frustrated. You don't know what to do. The deals are tough. You come from the bank and you're like, oh my God, this used to be a cookie cutter deal. Now it doesn't even fit. And the time when we came in, they were just going through the Bill C-20, I think. It's when they said everyone needed to be trust tested. And the banks weren't stress testing at that time. Only the brokers had to start off. So I was like, did I make the move on the right time? So all those things we're going through. But I think more than that is more of a, you have young kids and family time. I'm working long hours and I'm just like, is this what I want to do? So for me was like getting through it was one of the biggest challenges. And I had a very supportive family, supportive wife, where she was always quarterbacking me while I was doing long hours at work.
That's
So
huge. That's important. When you don't have a supportive system, right?
it's definitely
It's
hard.
definitely hard to pave that way and get where you got. So you owe a lot to her.
No, 100%. And she was always holding it down, which was good. And now we have 3 kids. Life gets busier, but she's still doing the best with it.
Clearly, you were busy.
Yeah, so there was many times, to your questions, many times when I wanted to throw in the towel, but you look for the best in it. You have those moments, right, where you want to, but then you're like, oh, I got to push through it.
Now, was that moment last year, 2024? Because I know 2024 started off strong for you, but it was also one of your most challenging year.
Oh yeah. Leading into 2024 was one of my best years. I was 40, celebrated 40. I had abs. I had abs at that time. I had a good trainer. That was my goal that I worked towards it. And on my 40th, it was like everything was beautiful. I was like, this cannot be better than anything else. I'm going into 40 feeling amazing. Then I had all these curveballs that came in. I had my dad was diagnosed with an illness where he was hospitalized. I was going through a business separation. I had a surgery that I had to do that same year. My dad passed away, like going into 2025. My dad passed away, and then the business separation happened. It firmed up, so then I'm going on my own. I had lots of agents. I had everything. I had a lot of mixed emotions. Life doesn't get easier, and the business started slowing down. So many curveballs. But you know what? We're here today. I've rebuilt myself. I have, I've been blessed with the support system that I have with my friends, families, with people that want the best for me. So, when you have that kind of support, you always want the best. I mean, you're always going to be striving for the best. And people always push me throughout their career.
100%. You are who you surround yourself with. So if you surround
100%.
yourself with positive and like-minded people, you will always succeed, right? And success doesn't always look like the number of people behind you or the dollar value in your bank account,
100%.
but it's really who and the quality of people around you, right? Looking back, what do you think your younger self would say if they saw you where you are today?
The real thing would have been you did a but no, the real answer would be like getting into something that I didn't know much about at the early stage. I would be really proud, and that is one of the proudest moments somebody can have, because I look back and I'm like, I wish I did this earlier. That means it's rewardful because you wish you did it earlier. So that's a good feeling to have.
That is for sure. We're going to now move into the Finn story. Okay, so let's talk about Finn. Where did the idea start? How did Finn come to life? And what inspired the name and vision behind it? Because I know I get asked a lot, oh, like what does Finn stand for? Or where did that come from? Where did he come up with the idea? So I
Yeah.
want to hear from you.
It's crazy. I had to switch from this other company. So I was like, how do I find something that is going to be better than what I had before? So for me, it was always trying to top that. And I made some phone calls. I called one of my high school friend that I went to, and I was like, he runs his own. He's the one initially helping us with the social media stuff at the beginning when we started the other company. And then I was like, hey man, like what do I do? And he's like, you know what, man? Right now, what the catchy trend is 3-letter words. Come up with something 3 letters. And I was like, what? And then we kind of came up with Finn. So then I went to register a domain. Like, you got to have a website. Man, every single website was taken.
Yeah.
Like, at that time when we came up with the name, it was easy. But now trying to find a domain is another mission. So we're searching. And finally, he was able to find somebody that was selling Finn.com for like 9,000 US. So I ended up buying Fin. I didn't even know if this is the name I was gonna get, but I was like, okay, let me buy it just to secure it because it was such a hard mission finding something. So I ended up buying that domain, and then I'm like, Fin for finance. People started asking me, they're like, oh, what is Fin? What does it stand for? I'm like, finance. They're like, oh, okay. I don't know if they really meant it was a nice name or they're like, everyone knows finance. So I was like, let me find something that I can connect Fin to. So I still remember I was sitting in the hospital waiting room while my dad was getting a procedure done, and I was like, how do I connect Fin? I was like, Fin, 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 fund it. And I was like, a light bulb went up, and I was like, fund it now. I remember calling you,
Yes.
right? And I remember calling Shobi, and I was like, yo, I just found this crazy name. Fin stands for Fund It Now. I was so happy. And all of a sudden, it just started growing on me. We came up with Fin Mortgage, and then we're like, you know what? It's gonna be, we gotta let people know it's a mortgage company. And then now everyone just calls me Fin, you know? Fin this, Fin that, Fin, you know, everything's about Fin, and which I love.
And
It's
I
starting
like
to
I like
grow.
how the slogan actually fits into everything too, right? We're talking
Yeah.
about goals, let's fund it now. We're talking about mortgages, let's fund it now.
Yeah.
So I think it actually blended well. But I know for the longest time just
It
didn't sit
didn't
well
go,
with you,
yeah,
right?
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And we use Fin for everything, like Fintastic, Finish, everything is with Fin now.
And yeah.
Which is
Well, that's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah. The name Finn is simple, but I mean, we just talked about it, but powerful. What does it mean to you personally?
For me, Fin was like finance, right? So a lot of people in the banking industry will be like, oh, finance, right? In French, it means Fin means finish, getting things done, getting it to the finish line. That's what Fin stands for me for. And the main thing is Fin for Fund It Now.
What makes Finn different from other brokerages in your eyes? So, in your opinion, how do you think your brokerage is different?
I'm more of quality over quantity. You know, you can hire agents, but at the same time, you got to have quality. So I'm a strong believer in that. I'm also there with them in the trenches. So, like for me, as a boutique brokerage, I'm also a selling partner as well. So, where I'm doing business as well.
Who's the other partner? Is it me? Because I don't know who the other partner is.
Sorry, I'm used to saying that selling partner, but I'm a
Damn it.
selling solo partner.
Damn it, I thought I was
My
ready to sign on the dotted line. I'm here for a lifetime. I signed a lifetime contract with you.
man, yeah, I know you're a lifer.
I think for me, what how Finn stands out compared to other brokerages personally is, of course, it's a boutique shop, right? And I think you absolutely focus on quality over quantity always, right?
Yeah, we've been hiring people all the time together, right? Like
And
we've
I
been
think,
hiring
well, I
people.
don't think you were hiring necessarily. I think
They
they
were looking
found
for
you,
me, yeah.
right? So there's times where you were trying to, focus on the administration part and, have the brokerage ground up and running, but you just kept getting calls and I'm sitting in your office trying to do deals and I'm like, just take it. Just because, you need to be there for the people that are actually passionate and want to grow.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely is why Finn is different from more other brokerages, right? And not to brag about yourself, right? But agents get to work alongside a foot soldier who's in the trenches, like you said.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of brokerages, a lot of team leads, they actually rely on their,
The support system that they
support
have
system
built.
because they're the ones that are starting to produce.
And
So they're
again-
not producing themselves; they're actually earning off of their team. Whereas you don't need agents to keep the lights on,
No,
right?
100%.
Like you do it yourself, but you want to pay it forward and have those new agents build and become what you are now. So I truly do admire that about you, and I think that makes you stand out compared to other brokerages. If you had to describe Finn's culture in one word, what would it be, and why that word?
Family. Like everyone works together. Everyone wants the best for everyone. Everyone strives together. We have events that everyone comes together. So I feel like family is a right word to describe our culture here. We're all about winning together. We want to all eat on the same table and, be together.
You know what? I couldn't have picked a better word because you're right. I remember when you were on vacation and we held that community event, and I think one agent just started maybe a week or two before, and he came to show support, and he had brought in like drinks for us because it was one of the hottest day in the summer.
Yeah.
And cut up watermelons and everything, and I thought that was very
Very
sweet,
nice of him.
very thoughtful because he thought that his team is out there in the heat.
Grinding.
We don't know if they have food, we don't know if they have water, but he wasn't like he didn't have banners up, he didn't have anything to promote his own business,
to
but he
support.
came there for us, right? So that's definitely nice. And I think another thing about our team is that starting from you and myself, we don't gatekeep,
100%.
right? We learn something, we share.
Yeah.
We know a tactic to get more business, more results. We
share
share.
it.
We share with the team, and the team I've noticed does the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a two-way.
But yeah, that's definitely the right word I would say. Now, what's been your proudest Fin moment so far?
When agents are starting to do deals and they're realizing their own potentials, which makes me happy. They're starting to, all the hard work they put in is starting to result in them obviously making money, but at the same time closing deals. When they're closing deals, they're more happier inside, which drives them to, I close this deal, let me get another deal. I like when I see that, and when they call me, be like, "Hey, Kajan, I have a deal to run by." I'm like, "Let me help you right away."
Yeah, no, I've seen that, and I think the beauty in that is also like, it's not about the dollar value that they get when they're closing the deal.
It's the excitement that they get from.
Yes, yes. So it's like when they get the deal, they realize like it's not nothing is cookie cutter.
Yeah.
So they realize how much work is put into it, and what they thought was an easy deal is actually not an easy deal.
Yeah.
So to eventually get that solution for the client, they feel like a superstar, right? So in that client's eyes, they're God. If Finn were a person or character, what would you be? What would they be, and what kind of personality would they have?
So character-wise, I would say Finn is a cool fox. Clever. You can never underestimate. You don't know where he's gonna pull up and get the deal done. So that's what I think of Finn.
Ever underestimate this fox because he'll outsmart you in ways you never thought possible.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly what you said.
Where do you see Finn in 5 years? And please tell me that includes like Tanu's cappuccino machine, and you'll be bringing me coffee from her.
You'll be only getting that Ninja coffee machine. No, in 5 years, I'm going to see a big growth. We're going to have more agents. We're already at about 30 agents right now. We're going to be bringing on quality 20 agents every year. So by that time, I'm hoping I'll be at like 100 agents. I want some of the main agents that's been doing a lot of deals to also take on a leadership role. So then they start seeing the reward and giving back to the community as well, giving back to the younger generations, where they start mentoring people and focusing on their growth, which obviously helps them as well.
And all while keeping the Finn family vibe and making a bigger impact.
Yes.
What's harder, running a brokerage or managing agents with big personalities? Because I know I roll my eyes every time I see messages. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding, just kidding.
I mean, you said it, right? Managing underwriters with big S.
I know, because I don't
Hold
think...
on. You didn't let me finish. See,
Sorry.
Your personality never lets me finish. You always got to cut me off.
True.
You know?
Because I always know what's best. But
I think you got to do push-ups right now.
I ain't doing push-ups for nobody right now.
I've been doing way too many push-ups.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. To be honest, that's one of the biggest managing agents. I think we're blessed with the type of agents that we have. So, we all like-minded, which is good. We're all hungry and we all want to do the right thing. So, which is great. It's easier for me to manage. And that's the type of core group that I want to keep with me.
Back to the managing the underwriter with a big personality. Sorry, last time I checked, you only have one underwriter.
I take that back.
Okay. What do you look for in an agent when you're building the team?
You know what? I look for somebody like me, motivated, driven, that wants to do the right thing, make changes, and also puts family and put family first, and puts having that family character automatically tells me that they're out there to win.
So when you're building a team, I think one thing I also like to add is that you have, so far, the people that have found you are very coachable, right? And you can teach them a skill, you can teach them how to do deals and structure deals and stuff like that. And I think that's also very important, because you can teach a skill, but you can't teach a character, right?
100%.
How do you balance being the boss and being a mentor, sounding board? Because I see agents just popping into your office, and sometimes I wonder how you time manage and how you do your own deals, how you help them, and then you also listen to their, stories, how...
I mean, they don't know I tune them out. No, I'm joking.
I know I do.
But no, you know what? I think in this role, you become a good listener, a good sounding board, right? Sometimes they're venting, and sometimes I'm venting with them. It gets frustrating sometimes, during that time when you're doing a deal, depending on holidays, maybe the underwriter's off. It gets frustrating. So we all work together, and we always try to diffuse it, or I always try to diffuse it. And again, being the head of the company, my job is always to make sure everyone is taken care of. So I'll sometimes jump on a call with the other side to make sure I patch things up, which is obviously is my role to do.
I've actually seen you do that where you step in and have the agent conversations with the agent. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like almost like a reverse shadowing session for new agents as well, which is
Yeah.
huge,
Yeah.
right? Because the agents are very scared to have some of these tough conversations. Tell me something you've learned from your agents. I know agents learn from you, but tell me something you've learned from your agents. Maybe something that surprised you or shifted your perspective. Anything.
One of our agents said, every day he wakes up and he puts 10 business cards in his pocket, and his goal is to get rid of those 10 business cards. That was a huge nugget that he threw out there, and I was like, man, that makes so much sense, because you have those 10 business cards. Your goal is by end of the night when you go home, you want to distribute it, whether you're going to the convenience store, you're going to the restaurant, wherever it is, you're giving it out. So that kind of forces you, and you're almost having a game with yourself. You know what I mean? It's a competition amongst yourself, which was good.
Yeah, I think I remember that day.
You were there too,
yeah,
I think, right?
Because I think it was during a meeting time, and a lot of the other agents had oh wow, that is actually clever. That is very smart. What are your non-negotiables?
One of the main one, no ego, right? That's one of my things that I do not negotiate. Everyone, you leave the ego at the door. Everyone is at the same level, and that's not negotiable for me. The other thing is accountability. I think accountability is very important, right? So somebody that's accountable, that's something that's very important for me. The other thing is integrity. I want every agent to be working in this environment with very deep integrity, because we're dealing with high standards, and at the same time we're dealing with a lot of client information, so integrity is very important to me. Consistency, I show up every day, so I expect them to show up as well, whether it is showing up for your team member or whether it is showing up for meetings. I think I'm there putting myself out there when I don't need to have these trainings, so consistency is very important for me, because I'm doing it for them and they need to do it for me. So that's very important for me.
I can definitely attest to your ego. You definitely have no ego, and you sit at the table with all the agents. So that's, I think you're spot on right there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make this a bit fun now. Morning or night person?
Night?
Night?
Morning?
I would think you're a morning person.
Would you just want to answer my questions then?
No, I'm just.
You can't ask the question and answer it yourself.
Listen, I'm rebuttaling. It's what I do best. It's what
This is
underwriters
exactly
do.
what we go through
It's
on
what underwriters do.
underwrite files.
Listen,
It's
I don't
not
know.
an
I don't
underwriting
know.
question.
I
It's
don't
my
know
personal question.
who you've worked with, but I'm not an order taker, as you can tell. I'm an underwriter.
I worked at Tim Hortons before, so I do take orders. But go
Your coffee order.
Black.
If Finn had a mascot other than our fox, what would it be? And please don't or snake.
That was actually going to be one of the ones, but thank God I didn't choose that one. I actually thought fin, like, the fin of a shark. So I thought a shark, but then I didn't see a shark popping out of a logo. It just looked like you're on a beach or something, right? So
I would have thought Gymshark, like the
I
workout
that's what I'm
clothes?
saying.
Yeah.
But we're not that kind of mortgage brokerage.
You're not
so.
that kind of boutique brokerage?
Boutique,
All
no.
right, all right. Favorite part of the job?
I wear many hats.
Yeah.
I'm a dad.
That's not a job.
That is a skill.
That is not a skill. If you
Okay,
say
favorite part of my
if
job.
you say parenting is a job, I might as well bury you here for Thanu, okay? So
I'm joking.
choose your words wisely.
Oh, my favorite part of the job is getting that deal funded, right? Because seeing the happiness in clients, or just hearing the happiness in their voice, it is more than just the money. For me, it's like the biggest satisfaction. And you can attest to this. We had a tough file recently. We've been working on it for almost months, and the client's been behind on payments, losing the house, and we got it to the finish line, which is amazing. And I can hear the happiness at the same time,
The
his
relief,
joy
yeah.
and the relief, and that's like the favorite part of mine. I think making the phone call when the transaction is done is my favorite part, actually.
That's actually
'Cause
a
that
good way to
success,
put it.
you
Yeah.
know?
So it's not really getting the deal across the finish line. It's about making
that
that
phone call.
that follow up call,
Yeah.
right? Because I think we had two deals like this. Like, remember the down payment one when you were on vacation?
Oh yeah, that you handled really well while I was on vacation.
It's not about handling. It's just
The happiness that they
yeah,
had.
because
They were relieved.
We
They didn't know
thought
there
we
was
thought
gonna
that
be-
deal was dead in the water because it wasn't even us. It was the clients. They did everything opposite of what we told them.
Yeah.
right? And then somehow we massaged the deal and got it done. And lender partners make a difference, obviously. But yeah, quote
But
or mantra you live by.
favorite quote or mantra you live by? You know what? I don't have a favorite quote, but I'll tell you one thing though.
You live by the gun, die by the gun. I'm joking. Just kidding. I think it goes like that. I don't even know.
Just don't hurt anyone. You know, that's one thing I do. I don't hurt anyone, and yeah, that's what I kind of go by. And now I just watch my back all the time.
It's okay. I'm here with you. Don't worry. Dream vacation spot right now.
You might think I'm crazy because I lived in Switzerland for like 12 years, but I feel like I haven't explored Switzerland. Like, you know what I mean? So for one of my spots, it always shows up on my Instagram. It's like, you know, you're on top of the Alps. There's a nice, like a spa kind of area. You're sitting there with a wine glass and you're overlooking the Alps.
I think those are called hot springs.
Yeah, whatever. But
Too much.
that kind of experience, but in Switzerland.
Nice. It's funny because they always say, right?
Tell me, what's funny?
No, it's shush. It's funny because we never explore our own backyard.
Yeah.
Till
Like your backyard?
yeah. My backyard, Riley and Chase explore it all the time, so I don't need to explore it. But we never, we're in Canada, but we
Yeah.
haven't been to the East Coast or West Coast or, all the other provinces, but we're also visiting other countries that have similar landscapes as us,
No,
right?
100%. Like, I've been to BC and I was like, oh my God, it's beautiful out here. How come we never came there? And even like few of the things on the bucket list is even like taking an East Coast drive.
That's beautiful.
Eating all those seafood. I'm a seafood lover, and even Banff. There's so much to explore to what you said. Yeah.
If Mortgage World didn't exist, what would you be doing right now?
I'll be a contractor. I think I'm a hands-on guy. I love designs. Like you can see this office that I put together. So I would have been a contractor.
I can see that. One piece of advice you'd give a brand new agent joining Fin. So that agent is watching you, and what is your message to them?
Don't be scared to make mistakes. There's nothing that you can't fix. So just remember that. Pick the right brokerage. We're here to support you.
Thank you, Kajan, for a wonderful session today. And
Thank you,
ladies
Nina.
and gentlemen, if you're watching, if you're still tuned in, and that's a wrap. Keep learning, keep leveling up. See you next time on the Finish Line podcast. Thank you.